Okay, so I'm looking at how I'm going to mount this. I have just detached this piece from here, and going to be looking at it in more detail, seeing how I'm going to actually do this. Really don't want to break this, but the holster is only $34, so we're going to take a look at this real quick. I got to remove these two back screws. Switch out the heads on this screwdriver here. There we go. Now, ooh, that's a tight turn. What the hell? Is this plastic screw? Is that a plastic screw? What is that? Gotta be real careful here. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? What is going on in the world today? What is going on in the world today? What in the name? It just split the dang screw. What? Am I missing something here? I found the problem. Found the problem. We already all seen the problem here. I shown y'all this earlier. Made in China. Now that's the biggest that you'll ever find it written down somewhere. Hold on. Made in China. That's the holster right there. What's going on in the world today? China. That's what's going on. We gonna get paid back for this. This is some. What I do with the screwdriver head? I blame China for this too. Fucking, this would not have happened. There it is. This would not have happened had China just decided to use metal screws for it, or higher quality plastic. I've used plastic screws before, and it don't do that. That's normal. That's fucked. That's messed up. Dude, come on, bro, dude, bro, I have completely butchered the freaking screw. Like, for real, man, Tell you what, since it's Chinese made, we're just gonna. Oh wow, is that how easy it comes out? It's not a screw. Oh my god, there is no directions for this, there is no description for this. Wow, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be using that piece anymore. I'm not going to be using it. Just, we got to get rid of. Probably the safest way to get rid of this is to saw it off with a Leatherman tool. I do not want to mess this up any further than I need to. It's going to go like this. Let me see if the QLS attachment lines up with it. I'll do that. Here it is. See if I can get it to. Yeah, it looks like it'll line up. Let me see here. Yeah, if I can get it to line up on. I could even drill another third hole in it in the middle here somewhere. Melt a hole in it or something. And then get a washer for the other side of it. Little flat nut washer. Or, oh wow, okay, that might work too. This might work out. These are too short for that, I believe. Yes, it is. Would not use that for that anyways. We need to use dial calipers and get the right size for this. So those are my thoughts on some possible ways to mount this, I guess. I'll show you how it's actually done when it gets done. Alright, so we have removed that piece with the Leatherman tool. Now I gotta figure out, I might use zip ties. That might be it, zip ties. Let's get this back on there. I don't think it really matters which way now because there's no hinge. I'll put this on a second level so I get access to, actually no, third level. There we go. So here's my reasoning. I'm going to put it on a third level here, so line it up with that, so that way I can get access to these top ones with zip ties and these bottom ones with zip ties to attach it to its QLS quick detachment system, like I'll show you on video in a minute here. Now another thing you might want to do, I'm actually about to get some Loctite real quick. I'm for sure that even if I don't want Loctite, I can get that shit undone. It's just so that way it doesn't come undone while I'm playing. You want to reinforce all your equipment all the time. Okay, here's the Loctite. It's called a thread locker. It'll make screw threads more reinforced and not come undone through vibrations or twisting motions. A little side note, on my knife here, I've used thread lock on these 3 screws for the clip and this glass breaker tip, which does come out. So that's a good another example of how and why you reinforce your equipment and where to reinforce it. Alright, so we're going to apply Loctite to, there's actually a lot of junk on this, so I'm just going to drop those 2 things. Where's my other Allen wrench? Wow, I just lose stuff all the time. Like, it could be in my, it's in my pocket. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta put this, like, don't get into the bad habits that I got of with gear and tools. Like, you put it in your pocket, you put it down somewhere, and then you can't remember where it's at. Like, even if I do that, like, it's not to the point where I'll completely forget where it's at. It's just, you know, annoying to have to find it again. It could be in one of 5 places: my pocket, the floor around where I was working. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna go apply the Loctite directly into the thread channel. Let's see, yeah, it opens up like that, lift up, and apply it right in there. Just give it a good fill it right up to the brim, no overfill. That's 1, that's 2. Alright, there we go. It's gonna go on there like that. Now remember, I wanted the 3rd level. Okay, that's lined up. Now let's get the screws on there. It's really important, especially with short threaded screws, that you reinforce it. Reinforcing can include, so for example, I broke the buttstock on my paintball gun. It was just some plastic, but what I'm going to do this time, I got some dial calipers and I'm going to measure the exact diameter and going to get a steel pipe that can fit around the buttstock tube, so it's more reinforced around that breakage point, so that way the pressure goes onto the steel pipe that's snugly fit around it, compared to, you know, it breaking just regular plastic. I'll go over gear reinforcement. Like, I've made a decision that I need to reinforce all my gear because manufacturers are incompetent or they overlook certain factors of breakage. Another type of reinforcement would be dummy cording. So what I'm going to do with this pistol is I'm going to get a it's called a retention lanyard for pistol retention lanyard. There's multiple versions. They got ones that clamp onto the handle here, or they just wrap around it basically, so that way in case you drop it or someone tries to take it, it comes out of the holster and you still got it attached to your body, your system. There's some wobble to that, but it's fine. Alright, we're gonna let these threads dry. Whenever you're turning Allen screws, and especially where I cannot confirm if it's plastic threading or metal threading, but though with any kind of threading, do not thread too tight or you will break the thread. There needs to be a design where we can limit the threading on these things. Alright, so this piece might also need to come off, but though you never know, it could help you later on, so just do as needed as it comes along. Alright, it looks like, yeah, it will probably need to come off because, hold on, I gotta see which way this goes on there. Alright, okay, so this side goes out. Alright, so on the QLS system, this side goes out, and I'll show you why in a second here. When you do things like this, when you mount them, you want to make sure you do it right. So you see that right there, that little divot, and this is just flat right here. So if you were to put it in this way, it doesn't even, you got this in the way, see? But though here, so yeah, make sure you got everything right, make sure you got everything squared away when you're doing your gear. So that's got to mount onto this like this, down. And so yeah, I am going to need to remove this little hinge right here. So we are going to do that and we will be back. Alright, so about the modifications I've been making to the holster here. We got this attached on here so far. Like I said, I had to saw this thing off, and then I had to saw this thing off because I was going to try to mount the QLS system onto this mid-ride holster paddle here. But I decided it was going to be too much because I also had to saw off this piece right here. It was preventing, like, the way I wanted to mount it. I tested it with a one of the screws that comes with it. The screw that comes with it, it goes through these holes here, which the only one that I have to line up for this middle one here would be this, which you can see right here where I have my finger right under. So it goes like this. Show you one more time. It does come with washers, but though it would just be too frustrating if I were to try to screw it in. But though if I were to go to zip tie route on this thing, the way it goes into this, yeah, the way it goes into this, I could not do zip ties because it would prevent it from even functioning, entering in, sliding into the QLS system. So yeah, this QLS system for this holster is scrapped until the HDR guys start making more options for mounting. We need 3-hole mounting options so we can mount. So what I'm going to do is, where's my zip ties at? Here we are. Yeah, we're mounting this holster directly to this mid-ride mount. It's only like $20, so it's not that big a deal to have it interchangeable. I can just change out the holster on the belt completely or change belts. Alright, so what we're going to do is mount it like I said. We have this free slot up here we're going to use for the top 2 of the 3 holes. Just going to run my zip ties through those holes real quick. Okay. I'm gonna also do the bottom ones too. The bottom, I'm gonna have 2 or 3 going through this bottom hole here, so we're gonna measure that too. See if, yep, it's the whole holster face on this thing, so it takes up the entire face. It's gonna go from top to bottom. Alright, my memory card filled up there. Just had to empty out some memory. Alright, so back to what I was saying. Zip ties are going through. It takes up the full face of the holster here. Full face of the holster mount. So feeding it through here to get it ready for direct mounting. Make sure your zip ties are facing the right direction for it to go in and lock when you slide it through. Alright, make sure it's facing the right way. Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. Just like that, through there. Alright, that's 2 zip ties. Gotta get these a little bit. Now, so I can access the attachment points. Okay, okay. Now let's tighten it up. And I do not have it facing the right way. Oh man. Oh, wait, that's just the wrong. Okay, I was sliding the wrong one through. I did have it facing the right way. Yep. Always make sure you got your stuff squared away in the right direction. No snags or anything like that. Nothing that can mess it up. Alright. And there we go. This is working out pretty good. Okay. Now I'm gonna go mount this on my pistol belt. Show you guys how it all works out. I actually kind of like that. It's offset. Again, with this piece sticking out here, I hope this doesn't make the barrel just go into my leg or anything like that, because the way that we're looking here, this sits right up against the hip, and we're gonna check that angling without yeah, it looks like it might cause me an issue. So if I have to, I guess I could just saw this off while it's still attached, or just use some more zip ties and undo everything. But yeah, they need to come up with a better and more variable holster designs, and not just, you know, make it like it's airsoft or just paintball. Like, no, fucking, it needs, everything needs to be compatible or have adapters for each other without me having to make modifications. The only modifications that I should ever have to make is to make it stronger, where I anticipate that something will break, which they should also do as manufacturers. Yeah, I was kind of hoping this little lip here that I have my thumb on would sit on top of this lip, because that's how it was looking. That's how it was looking like it would do, but maybe it's due to the fact that the zip ties are just sitting on there some way and I can shimmy it and shift it. But yeah, we'll go show you guys what it looks like on my belt. Alright, and we are back for a quick second. I did end up shifting these around. If you ever need to undo a zip tie, take a thumbtack, safety pin, anything sharp that can get you in between the little locking mechanism that you can see. Well, you probably can't see it on this camera, but though if you look at a zip tie and you'll see the locking mechanism, you just need to lift it up from the grooves and keep your wedge needle in there, so that way you can slide this out and undo it. So what I did was, this thing was like up here, like I'd say, yeah, this thing was slid all the way up to here, which was preventing me from shimmying this thing to get it flush, so that way it wouldn't be possibly sticking into my leg. So yep, that's how I dealt with that. Lots of modification tips to follow. Stick around.